What's going on, people, man? We're back here with another video, man. Today I got the best PS4 accessories, programs, and video games you guys should check out. Now, I should do this video a couple of months back around Black Friday or Christmas, but I got too busy with school, so I do apologize with that. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, there are a lot of items on this list, and I will try not to make this video so long. So bear with me here. So let's go ahead and get started. It will be worth it, trust me. Now, starting off with the PS4 accessories, we have the PlayStation Vita. Now, the PlayStation Vita can do what the Nintendo Switch can do, but with limitations. What I mean by that is that you can play your PS4 games or even PS3 on your PlayStation Vita, but you have to be on the same Wi-Fi and you have to be in the house. Now, if you go too far, it will disconnect and you're kind of screwed. It's actually pretty good if you have family members or your wife or whoever wants to watch television. You can just go ahead and switch to TV and just play your PlayStation Vita. I did plenty of videos on my Vita playing PlayStation 4. I played Fortnite and I even did God of War. I probably shouldn't have sold it, but that's also an item I do recommend. Coming in at number 2, we have a terabyte hard drive. Now, depending on your system that you have, if you have a PS4 Pro, the base PlayStation, or the PS4 Slim, you will have either a 500GB or a terabyte hard drive. Having that extra bit of storage is very, very important. If you're an average consumer, I would just recommend just getting one, because with system updates and game updates, it can be a hassle. Now, if you don't have enough space, they won't even allow you to play video games. Trust me, I have a lot of games, and it's happened to me. You can easily install it into your PS4 without even having to use the USB. But I have a 1 terabyte in my PS4 Pro, and I have a 4 terabyte hard drive, so I don't run out of space. So that's what I really have. So I recommend having a hard drive. But if you're like a person who buys a lot of games, I recommend buying 2. They're like, I think, $80. I think 1 terabyte is like $54, if I'm correct. But I recommend just doing that. Or if you're only going to play a game like Fortnite or just 2K or Call of Duty, you should be fine just with a terabyte built in your system, or just a 500GB system itself. Now, coming in at number 3, we have a PS4 headset. Now, if you have any type of headphones, anything like that, as long as it's a 3.5mm jack, it will work into your PS4 or Xbox. But the only issue is you cannot talk. You can only hear. So the headset I recommend is the Astro A10, which I actually own still to this day. Had it for about a year, and it works perfectly fine for me. You can bend them, break them, you do whatever you want. I mean, not by that, but you can basically do anything to them, and they will still be in perfect condition. And the cord is an auxiliary cord, so if that happens to mess up, you can simply buy another one, and it's still gonna work perfectly fine. So just having a headset is actually better. If you have headphones, you perfectly can go to the dollar store. You can do that as well. I would say get a wireless one if you can, but for some reason Sony doesn't allow certain Bluetooth on their system, which is perfectly fine, because I don't use wireless anyway, because when I record, it's a hassle. So, but coming in next, we have another PS4 controller, a DualShock 4. On Amazon, there are a lot of third-party controllers on there if you want to check that out, but having another controller can be very, very helpful, knowing that if one goes dead, you can just basically pick it up and just play like that. I think there's also a controller from Walmart that's like $24. That's a wired one, like a Nintendo, like an NES controller, but having an extra controller can be very, very, very helpful. Coming up next, we have a USB hub. Now, depending on what you have, speaking of controller, like I said, if you want to charge your controller or your phone, you have 2 ports. I think the Slim and the Pro have 3. It's 1 on the back and 2 in the front. But having a USB hub can be very, very, very helpful. Either charging controllers, charging your phone, especially if you have a lot of stuff you want to charge, but having that extra bit is cool. You can either get it from Amazon or Walmart. I got mine from Walmart. It's like 4, you get like 10. So you can have about 6 or 5, depending on what you want to use. So having a USB hub can be very helpful, but it all depends on you. Coming in next, we have an extra micro USB. Speaking of charging, just in case, if you have an Android, you really shouldn't have too much of a problem, or pretty much need this, but having at least 2, just a backup, just to be safe. They're not really expensive, but any type of Android charging should be fine to charge your controllers, but just knowing that you have extra is very, very helpful. Next, we have a cooling stand. Now, I don't recommend these stands at all, because they actually don't help. You don't really need a cooling stand to cool down your system. But on Amazon, if you do happen to pick one of these up, you get a charging station, a game storage where you can plug your games, and you can basically charge your controllers. Also, can have your cool your PS4, depending on if you have Slim, Pro, or the base. That's also very helpful to have that if you're trying to limit space. But I don't personally recommend a cooling stand. Just get a gaming storage tower. But if you want to get a cooling stand, get the one that can allow you can charge your controllers to put your games on there and stuff like that. Next, we have a Nyko charging dock. Another charging device for your controller simply because it's better. Trust me, I have one right now as we speak charging my controller simply because if my PS4 is not on and I'm not home, I can simply plug it in to my controller and just let it charge. It's like I got it on sale for like $7, about to like 14. If you have more than one controller, just get the dual pack. Next we have is a USB drive. This is completely optional, which I will talk about later on in the video. The reason why I say USB drive is simply because if you're going to be doing content creation on PlayStation 4, they offer that to you guys. It is nice to simply export your videos to a USB drive so you don't clutter up your space. It doesn't matter. Make sure you format it before you put it in there because it's not going to work. So, but last but not least, we have a gaming monitor. Now, some of you guys play on your TV, which is perfectly fine. But when you play on your TV, there is a input delay, which this is the reason why I actually upgraded it. Most of your TV is going to be 720p. Monitors are 1080p, 1440p, and 4K 2160p. So if you're going to get a game monitor, it's a lot better. Lower, oh my damn alarm want to go off while I'm record. Low response time, all the millisecond response time, like 1 second. Anything 5 and below is going to be fine. But honestly, since you're doing console gaming, you really shouldn't be fine unless you're going to upgrade to a PC. Then get something that's a little bit more like 75 hertz or 144 hertz. But if you have a TV, they have game mode, which is a little bit better. It helps you out. So it all depends, but I recommend a game monitor. But now we're going to talk about these PlayStation programs that I personally recommend. It should get a little bit shorter now. Should be no longer than an 8-minute video. I'm looking at it right now. So let's get started with the PlayStation programs. First thing first I have is PlayStation Plus, which is something you're going to need. You don't have to have it, but it's actually recommended if you want to play. If you want to play multiplayer, not only do you get to play online, you get 2 free games every month, maybe 3. And you also get great deals on some certain games that you didn't know about. So you can probably play maybe $5 for certain games. But if you don't have PlayStation Plus, you probably play like $10. I know the PlayStation name change is coming soon. I believe it's $5 if you want to change it. If you don't have it, it would be $10. Next program I recommend is PlayStation Now, which is something I do plan on doing a review. I'm not going to talk too much about right now. Is PlayStation Now is that you can play PlayStation 2, 3, and also 4 games. But with the PlayStation 3 and 2, it's like a streaming service like Netflix. So if you don't have good Wi-Fi connection or Ethernet, I don't recommend that simply because of that. Because if your connection is bad, it will automatically cut off. If it's not saved, it will start you over from your last save point. But PlayStation Now is actually good if you want to catch up on certain games that you didn't play during the PS3 era, which I got it. So, and one thing I didn't mention about the PS4 accessories is the Ethernet cord. I recommend doing it over Wi-Fi. It's a better signal connection so you don't fucking lag out. Next we have is Share Factory. Share Factory is basically like a Sony Vegas editing software built in the PlayStation 4. I recommend that if you want to do content creation. I'm not going to talk too much about it right now. But if you want to do content creation, Share Factory is the number one way to go. Now we'll talk about the games to buy. Now the games I'm not going to include are Spider-Man, Street Fighter, God of War. I'm not going to include God of War 3 either simply because it is a remastered. I believe it's in PlayStation Now. If I'm correct, I may be wrong, but I'm not going to include those games or even Fortnite, because those are your stereotypical games that you're going to be playing. So those are games I'm not going to include. But let's go ahead and talk about it. I got a lot on the list. Majority of these games are really single player games. I think about 3 or 4 of them are multiplayer. So let's go ahead and talk about it. I recommend the Yakuza series, Gran Turismo Sport if you love racing. Horizon Zero Dawn is very similar to the Legend of Zelda, in my opinion. Persona 5, Ratchet and Clank, Detroit Become Human, Persona 5, Kingdom Hearts, which is a game I personally recommend, especially if you're a Disney fan. I also have on here Beyond Two Souls, Bloodborne, Gravity Rush 1 and 2. Gravity Rush 1 was a PlayStation Vita exclusive, was recently ported over to PlayStation 4, and Gravity Rush 2 was a PS4 exclusive. We also have Heavy Rain, Knack 1 and 2, which is very underrated in my opinion. Killzone, which is also on PlayStation Now, and Killzone 4 recently came out in 2013 when PS4 first dropped. And we also have Until Dawn, which is probably one of the best stories out of all these games. One of them. We also have MLB The Show if you're a baseball fan, which is also a PlayStation 4 exclusive. Shadow of the Colossus is a game that I loved playing last year, which was amazing. The Last Guardian, The Last of Us, Uncharted series 1 through 4, and even The Lost Legacy, the collection on the PS3. On the PS4, there was originally a collection. You can't play the multiplayer on the Uncharted 2 and 3. I'm sorry. And also, Infamous and Jack franchise, which is from PS2, but they ported over to PS4, which I personally recommend. I was going to include Sly Cooper and stuff like that, but that's on PlayStation Now. But overall, the 5 most games I recommend on this is probably Uncharted, The Last of Us, Shadow of the Colossus, Horizon Zero Dawn, and also I think Grab Rush, I haven't really played it, but Kingdom Hearts is a game that you guys would probably love. But hopefully you guys enjoy the gameplay. I mean, not the gameplay, the video, because this is some also awesome accessory that you guys probably need on your system. I will list it off for you guys, but hope you guys have a blessed day. So let them out. Peace.